Mario and Luigi are Nintendo's superstar characters. In the games, they battle their way through a perilous maze of adventure and daring do. Out in the real world, their images adorn everything from sweatshirts to underwear.
They pop the cartridge into this deck, which attaches to any television set. Never has there been a toy that's been this successful.
Super Mario Brothers, like, what a blast.
Super Mario Brothers was just unlike anything I'd ever played.
And the first time I jumped and hit it like a mystery, like question mark box out of nowhere, my mind was blown.
Mario just turned out to be a great character.
Here we go!
Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers.
Mario and Luigi.
You became Mario.
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 Mario! Mario! Mario!
He's back.
You can tell almost the entire history of all the video games just by focusing on the Mario games, what Nintendo has done with this one character.
Super Mario Brothers is just, anyone these days can play that first level almost with their eyes closed. And then when you get past that first castle and you go underground and it goes da-da-da-da-da-da. Like everyone knows what that feeling was like when the first time you dropped down there and you're like,
You ever filled your head with so much information you feel like it's gonna bust?
No, but you know, I once got up to the 3rd level of Super Mario Brothers, and yo, it was hectic up there.
And then eventually when I moved to Southern California, I got the Super Nintendo, where I became hooked on Super Mario World.
I love the animation of him holding the cape, and then you could like go bloop, bloop, and it always looked so ridiculous.
Make a racing game and bam, Super Mario Kart is just an instant love fest.
I remember my favorite game of all time is Super Mario 64.
Mario and his kind of weird mushroom kingdom, which was still semi-Timothy Leary drug-induced vibe with mushrooms.
Even today, like the 3D hack and slash games and a lot of the first-person shooters, pretty much all those have their roots in Super Mario 64.
Stuff like Super Mario Odyssey, there's a million things you could do with the hat. I would have never thought that you could take the hat and run and jump on it until like the millionth time I tried. It's just fun. I think that's more important to them, is sticking to their brand and sticking to the fun family aspect.
There's an old screenwriting adage that if you want to make a memorable character, give them an eye patch and a limp or an interesting Irish accent or something like that, so you remember them. Nintendo somehow figured this out before everybody else, where they gave Mario the hat, the overalls, the mustache, the iconic voice later on.
Mario's a game gallery.
Oh, hello! It's me, Mario! It's me, Mario!
The design of Mario is just absolutely fantastic because Miyamoto understood the limitations of video games.
And it's really hard in basically 4-bit animation to create a realistic character. That's why he's the mustache, because you needed to show that he actually had lips, and the only way to do that is to put a big mustache on.
So I gotta give Mario a hat, then his hair doesn't have to move. You give him a big prominent nose to suggest a face. And gloves. Oh, Mario has gloves. Totally forgot about the gloves.
it really was the first face that you could put on any video game. You could actually have a connection and you could relate to this character because he was human.
The fact that they were able to put personality and character into games so early when everyone else was just making spaceships and literally rectangles. We were playing with rectangles fighting other rectangles.
There's very few games, especially in the early 80s like this, in which you controlled a human being. Very, very few.
Move a little piece of spaghetti on your overalls.
You have a little bit of spaghetti sauce on your shirt, as usual.
They were characters, but they weren't superheroes. They were kind of a guy named Mo and his brother. Nobody took them seriously, but they were lovable.
I think that always being the tough little guy, it gave him some heart.
None of us are overall wearing squat plumbers with big noses and mustaches. The fact that the character was sufficiently distant from any of us meant that every one of us could identify with that superhero coming out through Mario.
It's a me.
Open your eyes, open your eyes.
It doesn't fit into who you are, so you're just pretending to be someone else. And as long as you're pretending to be someone else, that's the first step of an adventure.
Open your
Now we had to save a princess. Now there were castles. Now there was a bad guy. Now there were storylines.
Wandering off the path was the goal. The only way to find out everything that's going on in the game is to play.
The worlds that Miyamoto has created they really are worlds. I mean, world building on the order of Harry Potter and Marvel.
What they do is they kind of find these traditional archetypes and they drill them deep down into your heart. Whether it's the princess, whether it's the soldier, whether it's the warrior with the sword.
And they become whole families, right? You know, you've got Toad and the princess, and then you've got Yoshi, and then all of a sudden Bowser has a whole team of miscreants, you know.
Bowser doesn't really consider himself to be totally villainous, and maybe he's not such a bad guy after all.
Mario is a friend to everybody. You know, Luigi is a friend to everybody. Yoshi is my favorite character.
I've always been a Yoshi girl.
If Yoshi could be in real life, I would marry him or her or whatever it is. But I can't. A game wouldn't be built and then you pop a character in it. It was the character and the personality and all the different moves and the other characters that would join all had to do with the personalities of those characters.
You never know for sure, but the video game business definitely learned from Mario. The character-based games were going to be very, very important.